So if you're making a normally proportioned face, the eyes would be more in the center, but Voynich nymphs have their eyes sort of a bit higher than that. It's hard to tell, but if we imagine that this is the top of their head and then this crown type of hat or crown is on top of their head, their eyes are definitely higher than a normal proportion. Not ready to add the nose yet, but I'm just sort of marking off where it's going to go, so I kind of have a better idea of the eyebrow. I'm having a look at my previous Voynich nymph sculpture, and I'm just checking the way that I've handled the eyes in the last one. I want to do something similar to this. So I've just been building up small, flat pieces of clay. And I keep going back to this drawing and checking just by holding it at the same angle that she's looking in the drawing, because I want to get that angle right here. I'm not going to be adding the crown until it's attached to the body, so it's hard to tell what it's going to look like without the crown, because that kind of balances out the rest of the head. One feature that is really pretty consistent here is that all of their necks are really leaning forward. Not so much this one, but I'm going to make them just trying to lean a little bit forward. I don't absolutely have to add the neck because I'm really just going to be taking an impression of the face, but since they have such an unusual neck, it's really hard to visualize the face unless I also sculpt the neck. Also, with a normal person's proportions, the head and neck would be a lot more separate, but with the nymphs here, it's really sort of a combination. You can't really sculpt one without sculpting the other. So I've gotten the face to the point where it's ready to be baked. So this is the polymer clay head after it's been baked. And I have a piece of porcelain clay here. So this is the porcelain impression after it's been fired. It's very white compared to the unfired porcelain here. So I'm just gonna try a test of this to see if this actually works the way I was thinking it would. So yeah, we basically have an impression that matches this original polymer clay. And so what I'm planning to do is, once I make the nymph body, I'll have this sort of cut away the excess clay. And then I'll be able to stick this onto the head of the nymph, and the clay, since it's still soft, I'll be able to connect that to the rest of the sculpture and then add more details in porcelain that can just be modeled into this new soft clay. I think an advantage of this technique is that I can make multiple nymph heads out of the same little mold, and this way I can alter them from each other so that I can make several slightly different ones. But I'm still going to make a few more original polymer faces because I want these different nymphs to sort of have a different look to their faces. I want them to look more individualized. So this is nymph number 1, and gonna work on the other ones too. Could sort of imagine what she would look like with a crown. And with some hair.